everyone. So in this video, we're going to be interviewing Macy, also known as Graham's girlfriend, to get her thoughts on relationships and money and what her goals for the future are. I've put some timestamps down in the description of this video so you can jump around to the section that suits you. And I've also put a link down in the description below so you can check out the Savannah Smiles YouTube channel. She's got some really awesome content, so I highly recommend that you do check it out. You can tell that she's really passionate about what she does on YouTube, and her channel is growing super fast. And by the way, if you do enjoy content like this, don't forget to give this video a like. So let's get into the video. So today we have Macy on the line, and she has a YouTube channel called Savannah Smiles. So welcome, Macy.
Hello.
So before we get into the nitty-gritty of the video, which is all about relationships and money, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and just your life experience, what you've been up to lately?
So, hi, I am 21 years old. Kind of little background on me is I am best known as Graham's girlfriend, but I'm also known as Savannah Smiles on my YouTube channel. I came from Southern California, although I am not a Los Angeles native, and I grew up a few hours north of Graham, and yeah, we ended up meeting and I moved down here with him. My interest in investing was first sparked off in a high school economics class of all places.
Wow, that's so young to start learning about investing.
Yeah. So I remember being 16 in that. I was 16 my senior year. I was a baby. But in that class, and it was like, oh man, I need to start a Roth IRA. Is it IRA?
Yeah, IRA. Yeah, some people, I guess it depends, I don't think there's any right or wrong way to say it.
Yeah. A Roth individual retirement account. There we go. Nobody can down below in the comments pester me on that. I'm just going to say it fully out. But that's where I first got interested in this. I wouldn't say I'm an expert by any means, but I do really enjoy it. And I enjoy buying stocks. And I'm looking also just to kind of diversify out my general investing. And I want to get into real estate at some point. But that's kind of a background on me,
That's so cool. Thank you so much for your story. I love how young you started. That's just blowing my mind. I can't believe you were 16. When I was 16, I was not thinking about stocks and my future at all. So that's so young. And I also love how you talk about value shopping as well, because I think that's really cool and really comes across on your channel. So I wanted to ask a question about your goals with YouTube, your future financial goals as well. Where do you want to take your YouTube channel eventually?
Yeah, okay. So in terms of YouTube, I just find YouTube as I've never even so far, I think this month I am going okay, actually let me see, because it is August 1st, it's past 7. I might be able to see my ad revenue for all of July, and I can that might be kind of a fun little reveal, because I've never talked about how much money I've been making, but let me see. Oh, wow, this has been my biggest month so far ever, but I made $1,466.15, which is just crazy. My goal was $900, so I am just but even making this much, I didn't make this doing little part-time jobs or whatever, even 3 years ago in a month. That would have been a lot for me to do, or this would have been me working retail during Christmas season. So that's probably what this would be for that whole month. But with YouTube, I just love doing it. I love putting something out there and then seeing how people react to it, getting to see people's reactions in real time, so I get to see, people didn't like this thumbnail, they didn't like this, or I should change this, or add background music on. Okay, no, you need to change some different background music because you're using the same 2 or 3 over. It's kind of fun getting that input all back, or just having people go, wow, that was hilarious, and I love that you took the time to edit this tiny little thing into here that, I thought no one was going to notice, but I just liked it. So I just love it. And eventually at some point, if I continue to enjoy it this much, yeah, I would want to go full time with it, but I don't really have any goals for it. I just love it, and it's a passion project for me. So I want to develop that and see where it goes. So I'm just kind of following the journey and the path that it's taking me on.
Yeah, well, it's taking you on a great journey so far because look at the growth that you've had. It's amazing. And I can really see that you're so passionate about it as well. It really comes through.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I definitely spend a lot of time working on it. So, I mean, now my uploads are so sporadic because I spend so much time on a video. But yeah, I love it. I love it so much.
Oh, I'm so happy for you. It looks like it's really paying off now though. And so I wanted to get into the real like nitty gritty stuff. So can you tell us a little bit about like, what are your thoughts on relationships and money? I know that's a really broad question. Let me know if you want me to narrow it down further.
Let me know if I just go off track on what you're trying to get out of me here, because I tend to kind of, with my questions, go
No, I love that.
Okay, so in terms of money in relationships, I think there's two ways that people either take it. I think either they take it as they're two completely separate entities and they should never be touched, and then there's people who treat money relationships like this. And so, which way do you cross your fingers? Anyways, there are some people that treat money and relationships like this. So I think it just kind of depends on the individual. For me, I kind of think it's something that's like, yeah, they're close and they can kind of sometimes intertwine, but you know, they don't necessarily have to be like this and they don't have to be like this either. It's totally up to the individual. For me and Graham, I feel that we're kind of like this with it. Like, you know, I know that what happens with my financial future and what his will probably affect the other one, but it's not going to be so affected that, you know, if his finances were to go down, I would too, you know, or same thing with me. But I know it's something that kind of, you know, affects the both of us. Like, we want to keep everything kind of separate. I don't feel comfortable having access to like all the money he's earned so far. And you know, he doesn't feel comfortable having like access to my investment accounts either. So we both kind of feel like it should be separate. But I mean, you know, I'm going to hear about it if he loses a bunch of money in investment, and he's going to hear about it if I do. Or if I have a really good day, an investment day, he's going to, you know, it goes back and forth. So I think it's something that we're close about and we talk about finances all the time, but it's not something that for us is like necessarily going to be like this either.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's so true. Like, it's good to have a bit of a balance when it comes to money and relationships, like you said. Like, sometimes, and it all depends on the individual, like you said. So it's a really good answer. Oh, and I just wanted to go back. I probably should have asked this question before I asked the money and relationships one. Sorry. But how did you guys meet in the first place?
Gosh, I've never really talked about this publicly. I accidentally did on an interview with Rob's 10K Friends. I don't know if you know who he is, but I get a little nervous talking about this. But I watched the Jubilee video. I watched one of his videos that was like, why rich people are so cheap. And I was like, I really like this philosophy. I really agree with it. Like, it makes sense to me. Like, rich people tend to be viewed as very cheap because that's how they got to that. And that makes sense to me. And that was kind of the gist of the whole video. And then I watched his Jubilee video, and to kind of backtrack on this a little bit, because I should have said this before, I had been single for quite a few months. I was planning on staying single unless I could find somebody who kind of met a lot of requirements I had. But I had this thing called the happy hour sushi theory. So it was this theory that if somebody could understand the value of leaving a little bit earlier or going a little bit later on like a sushi night, they understood the value of money. If they understood just switching your time around by 15, 30 minutes, they understood the value of what that money meant, what you could do with that money, and then just they valued in general just a good deal, which obviously as someone that values deal and value and out of something, that meant a lot to me. And so in that Jubilee video, I mean, I thought he was cute, whatever. I was like, oh, you know, didn't really see like much of his channel. I didn't watch really anything. He mentioned specifically, I am the type of person who will go early to a happy hour just to get the deal and just to save a few extra dollars. And I remembered, I was like, whoa. And like, I sent it to my best friend. I'm like, he is so cute. It's the same thing. And so I ended up like DMing him a joke on Instagram in response to one of his stories, and he answered, and we kept going back and forth. And then he was like, you know what? If you're ever, I see you're in Southern California. If you're ever close down by this way, text me and we'll meet up. And we started texting. And I think that first or second night of texting, we stayed up until 2 or 3 a.m. talking about credit cards and different stock picks. And we're just texting all avidly, and I couldn't fall asleep because I was so excited over like the different stuff we were talking about. He was like recommending credit cards, and I was also 20. I was very new to credit cards. So like anything I could get on that, I was like, ooh, like churning credit cards. Yes. Like give me some suggestions. So I think from there it was pretty much like solidified. Like I was like, I have to meet him. So I ended up coming down here, and we went on our first date, and we've been together ever since.
Oh wow, that is such a cute story. And I love how you have so much in common as well. And I think that's why it works, because it seems like your money values are like so perfectly aligned. So would you say that it's important for couples to kind of see the same way financially, or do you think it's been helpful for you guys?
I think for Graham and I, definitely it's been helpful for both of us. We put a very big financial stress on like, we need to have this compatibility with someone in the future. Even if our finances aren't joint, I need someone who can understand this. And so for us, like it was really, really important because I've always wanted to have options in the future. Even, at age 16, 17, 18, I always wanted the option if I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, I wanted to be financially able to do this. Even if it was by myself, I wanted to have that option. And I wanted to have the option to, like, if I wanted to work, I was working because I wanted to, not because I, had to support a family. So for me, that was something that was super, super important. And I know for Graham, that was super important too, that somebody could understand that about him. So for us, yes, we definitely needed somebody that had the same financial values. I feel if you have separate, like not joint accounts though, and you have different views on finances, as long as the other person can pay your joint bills, it doesn't matter. It just depends on how much it matters to the individual. So if you got like two people in a relationship and, they had separate accounts and like one spends like crazy, but, they could pay the phone bill every month. They could pay, their half of like mortgage or water bill or, whatever every month. And the other one was super frugal and saved money. As long as it doesn't bother the other person, I don't really think it matters. But it just depends on the individual and how much it matters to them.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's a really good answer. I completely agree. I think for me personally as well, money and finances are important to me. So that's what I also look for in a partner as well. So similar to you guys. And I wanted to ask a question, and I'm sorry if this is like, you don't have to answer this, but I'm curious, and it also came up in your Instagram DMs. But have you guys ever had any like money like problems? Have you ever like had any like disagreements over money or anything like that? Don't have to answer, but
gosh, I would say he never looks at what I spend, and he knows like reasonably the majority of my money goes to groceries or even my car. He was like, wow, this is my car payment for my car is under $200 a month for my loan. So I mean it's barely under, but it is under. So he's never looked at anything I've bought and like blown up at me. He also views it as my own money. And so I should be able to do with it as, whatever. I would say the only disagreements we've had, and this is so stupid, but has been when everything in March started to drop, our stock picks were our disagreements. So we'd be arguing over, no, this one's going to do better. No, this one's going to... I won, by the way. I was throwing money into Tesla, and he's like, I don't know. And I ended up making the biggest wins out of that versus the ones that, like, he was like, no, buy this. But it's never anything serious. Like, it was just over stock picks. Like, it wasn't actually a big blowout argument, but I was like, no, Graham, Tesla to the moon. And then he was like, no, airlines. I'm like, Tesla, Tesla, solar, and he's like, airlines, Carnival. And so, Dave and Buster's.
Oh no. I hope you didn't put too much money into it.
No, not very much. But it was just funny that this is the like biggest argument, and it wasn't even really an argument. It was just like you know what I mean. It's kind of like a debate.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good that you put money into Tesla. I am just like kicking myself. Like, why didn't I see this? You must have made some amazing profits.
Yeah. No, I bought a dollar cost averaged, I think like $568. So right now it's at like $1,500. So I've made like $1,000 in each share I bought. That one's like one I'm like, wow. I am so grateful that I was just taking everything going, nope, Tesla, 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 you know?
Yeah, that is so awesome. And so, okay, so obviously from the way that you've spoken about your investments, you do have like separate kind of like investment accounts, but you do kind of like feed off each other with like stock tips and things like that. Do you have any like investing goals for the future?
Oh yeah, okay. So obviously, I'm not sure if Roth individual retirement accounts work the same in Australia as they do here. But here, once you make over a certain amount, you can still trade and do whatever in the account, but you can't keep contributing to the account. And so if you're single, it's if your income is under a certain amount, or if you're married, then it's like double that individual amount. So with Graham's income, I will not be able to contribute, once we get married, I won't be able to contribute to that account. So that does obviously impact, because I think that's going to be something that realistically is probably going to happen 3-ish years from now. I'm young. We have a lot of time on our side. I mean, we've had obviously serious talks. We're living together. We're in a serious relationship. So realistically, I know that then I'm not going to be able to contribute to it. So knowing that I only have 24,000 more I can contribute to it, I want to get that count to get it over 120,000. I know that's a very ambitious goal, but I would assume that, with many years of training and slow growth, I would be able to get it to that point.
That is so impressive, especially, it's impressive for anyone, but also especially considering how young you are. So that's really awesome. I'm so proud of you. Okay, and one final question to like wrap this up. So I am curious, you guys are obviously very frugal, you like value for money. What kind of do you have any tips for date nights that people can do with their partners to save money?
Yeah, so in terms of date nights, there's really, really easy ways that Graham and I save money on those. I would say a good way we do that is we'll do picnics a lot. Those are super fun. You cook the food at home. Cooking dinners at home together is so much fun. It's kind of chaos because Graham doesn't know how to use a knife properly. I mean, we've all seen the Millennial Money. You've seen how he cuts garlic. I mean, it's kind of a mess, but it is really fun. So we'll do, cooking together is really fun. Yeah, sometimes even just doing corny things, we'll go, not at this house, but at the last one we were at, we would go up on the roof, we'd make pasta and then go up and watch the sunset. And so the pasta, that part of it is all very, very cheap. And then, watching the sunset is a lot of fun. So we've done that. Something else I was trying to do, but the projector I got was broken, is getting a small mini projector. I think you can get them for $50. And you can project movies onto the ceiling if you don't have, a TV in your room, or, you could even do this outside and make a cute little movie night, or, in a living room or whatever. I think that one's a lot of fun, and it's a big initial investment into it, but if it works out well, it's very, very cheap to do in the future because you just plug, your Netflix into it.
That is a great idea. I've seen those mini projectors and I've always been like, do I get one? But it sounds like it works really well. So great tips.
Yeah, it's super easy. I mean, just, I have an air popper and air kernel, the kernels for it. So popping popcorn or any of that's super cheap to do. It's just that first time you're going to pay $50 for the projector. But then after that, you can use it so many times. So it's super fun.
Oh, awesome. Those are some really awesome date night tips. So thank you so much. So people watching at home can try that to save a bit of money, but still have fun with your partner. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts on relationships and money? I would love to know your thoughts as well. And remember to check out Savannah's YouTube channel. She's got some really entertaining content on her YouTube channel, so highly recommend that you do check it out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.